the under the procurement with bid reference number BAC 2025-007 Rebid, which is this is under procurement for consulting services. Okay. So before we officially start, may I request the BAC Secretariat to check the attendance and confirm the presence of a quorum for the Bids and Awards Committee.
Good morning, everyone. Before we proceed, we would like to remind you that this pre-bid conference is being conducted live from the DICT Region 3 Regional Office and is also accessible via Zoom. It is simultaneously being live streamed on our official Facebook page and YouTube channel for transparency and public monitoring in accordance with procurement guidelines. We will now acknowledge the presence of our Bids and Awards Committee members, led by our BAC Chairperson, Mr. Edriel Miranda, Vice Chairperson Mr. Edwin Mendoza, BAC members Mr. Jeffrey Lazaro, Ms. Ria Rose Libao, and Mr. Dale Dean Martensen. Chair confirming that we now have a quorum po.
Okay, thank you, Secretariat. Since all members of the BAC are present, we now have a quorum, and I now call this pre-bid conference into order. It is now 34 minutes past 9 a.m. So, Secretariat, please proceed with the acknowledgement of other participants, including the invited or shortlisted bidders and observers in attendance. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. Acknowledging also the presence from our technical working group, Mr. Alvin Mendoza. Mr. Alvin Gutierrez. For BAC Secretariat, we have Ms. Raven Villanueva, Ms. Erica Leidelino, Mr. Romel Nepomuceno, Ms. Celine Buchanan, Ms. Cherise Elijah Abaya, and from MIS is team to assist us for the live stream, Sir Akinori Noguera. From the IIDB team, as the end user representative, Ms. Jean Margaret De Jesus and Mr. Mark Bermejo. We would also like to note that the invitations were extended to the Commission on Audit, the National Telecommunications Commission Region 3, and the Confederation of Filipino Consulting Organizations, Inc. However, none of our invited observers were able to attend today's pre-bid conference. Chair, I would like to acknowledge the attendance today, the representatives from our shortlisted bidders, namely Mr. Mark Genesis Abella from Smarter Multimedia Services and Mr. Mark Ezekiel Abella, also from Smarter Multimedia Services. Chair, we reach out na po to Carbon Digital and still waiting for their attendance po. Thank you.
Okay, let's just wait for them or habol na lang sila since the original schedule of the pre-bid is at 9 a.m. So I think we extended enough time for them to join in. Okay. Secretariat, kindly please proceed with the presentation of the project details, the shortlisted bidders, the general rules, and the house rules.
Yes, Chair. For the project details, again, bid reference number BAC 2025-007 Rebid. Project title, Procurement of Consulting Services for the Development of High-Quality Audiovisual Presentations to promote Tarlac City, Olongapo City, and Cabanatuan City as competitive IT BPM hubs, with an approved budget for the contract of 1,500,000 pesos. Our listed bidders are Carbon Digital Inc. and Smarter Multimedia Services. Part 2 of the Philippine bidding documents was posted on PhilJobs on November 27, 2025, concurrently with the issuance of the notice of eligibility and shortlisting to the shortlisted bidders on the same date. Invitation to observers was forwarded last December 2, 2025 to Commission on Audit, National Telecommunications Commission, and Confederation of Filipino Consulting Organizations, Inc. For the general rules, principle of pass or fail, absence or presence. Evaluation selection method is quality-based evaluation. Bids above ABC are automatically disqualified. All submitted bid envelopes shall be marked and properly sealed, and no bid modification is allowed after deadline of submission and no alternative bids. For the house rules, upon joining the meeting, please rename your Zoom display name using the following format. Questions, comments, and suggestions may be raised after the presentations of the BAC chairperson and the BAC Secretariat. Kindly use the raise hand tool to indicate if you have a question or clarification, or send your inquiries via the chat box. All questions must be brief, concise, specific, and relevant to the procurement at hand and should be addressed to the BAC chairperson. Please observe order and decorum during the proceedings. Any act or utterance that may interrupt or disrupt the session will not be tolerated. Please keep your microphone on mute unless you are asked to speak in order to avoid unnecessary background noise. When speaking, kindly enable your webcam and state your full name and the company or organization you are representing. For the detailed technical specification and bidding documents share, the end user representative will discuss this part. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Secretariat. Now we shall proceed with the presentation of the terms of reference for the consulting services, to be immediately followed by the discussion of the bidding documents, which is the part two already. Okay, so since we are done with the part one, we'll just focusing on the part two of the bidding documents, and we'll just be highlighting section one, section three, the bidding forms, and the checklist. Okay. Um, mhm. The question and answer portion will be conducted after the presentation of both documents. So we encourage our shortlisted bidders to listen attentively, as the information to be presented is vital to your understanding of the procurement requirements and processes. Okay, again, the question and answer will happen after the discussion of the detailed technical specifications, or TOR, and the bidding documents. Okay, so may I call on the representative from the end user units to please discuss the TOR. For the TOR, we will read the whole document. Okay.
So po, good morning po, Capture. Let me just share my screen lang po. Yeah. So here's the terms of reference for the procurement of consulting services for the development of high quality audio visual presentations that promote Tarlac City, Olongapo City, and Cabanatuan City as competitive IT BPM hubs. So here's the rationale or introduction. The Department of Information and Communications Technology, or the DICT, is mandated to ensure sustainable growth of Philippine ICT-enabled industries, resulting in the creation of more jobs. To fulfill this mandate, the ICT Industry Development Bureau, or IIDB, develops, implements, and manages programs to support the ICT industry, particularly the information technology, and business process management, or the IT-BPM industry, to further strengthen the Philippines' stance as a top investment destination for global services in the world. In alignment with the DICT's mission to ensure sustainable growth of Philippine ICT-enabled industries, resulting in the creation of more jobs, the Philippine IT-BPM industry, including its local BPO subsector, is one of the biggest contributors to the country's GDP in terms of employment and revenue, and continues to display its resiliency as one of the Philippines' economy's pillars. According to ITBPM Industry Roadmap 2028, the ITBPM industry is projected to generate 2.5 million direct jobs and bring in 59 billion in revenues by 2028, which will account for an 8.5% contribution to the Philippines' gross domestic product. Last 2024, the sector ended the year with 7% growth in jobs totaling 1.82 million FTEs and 7% in revenues reaching $38 billion. In collaboration with the Information Technology and Business Processes Association of the Philippines, or the IBPOP, the DICT launched the Digital Cities Program, which aims to expand the IT BPM industry in other cities, especially in the countryside. The primary goal of the Digital Cities Program is to ensure decent work and economic growth and sustain it by expanding the said industry in the countryside to generate more jobs. 31 locations were named as the focus for new developments in the countryside in the next 5 years. The cities were selected based on the 4-point evaluation system and the system that assesses possible IT BPM against factors that make a city attractive to investors and locators. In order to showcase the potentials of the digital cities business, opportunities and investments, an audiovisual presentation or AVP for the digital cities is recognized to be necessary to provide a comprehensive, interactive, and informative video material to increase public awareness on the IT BPM industry in the country. Furthermore, the AVP will be an effective marketing and promotional material to showcase the potential of the Digital Cities program to attract foreign and local investors and to promote business opportunities. The objectives of the audiovisual presentation are as follows. First is to promote Tarlac City, Olongapo City, and Cabanatuan City as ITBPM business destinations, attract local and international ITBPM investors, and generate business opportunities, local and global. Produce a high-quality audiovisual presentation to highlight the competitive advantage of Tarlac City, Olongapo City, and Cabanatuan City, and serve as a tool to foster partnerships and collaboration and increase support from key stakeholders from the academic, government, and private sectors. Mode of procurement. The mode of procurement shall be competitive bidding, consulting services pursuant to the provision of the revised implementing rules and regulations of Republic Act number 9184, also known as the Government Procurement Reform Act. The beneficiaries or participants will be Tarlac City, Olongapo City, and Cabanatuan City as part of the digital cities with launch roadmaps, academe, local government units, industry partners, and ICT councils, ITBPM investors and locators, local and international. Target output to develop and produce 3 5-minute promotional AVPs, one each for Tarlac City, Olongapo City, and Cabanatuan City, highlighting their competitiveness as ITBPM hubs for marketing and promotional use. Scope of work. The deliverables for this project are as follows. First is a pre-production. Conduct necessary desk research about the digital cities in coordination with the DICT to gather insights and reference materials. Next one is to develop and submit a concept proposal, storyboard, script, and shot list in consultation with city stakeholders and the DCP community, DICT Central Office or DICT Regional Office. Participate in pre-production discussions, meetings, planning sessions, and brainstorming activities with the ICT and relevant stakeholders. Present initial outputs for review and integrate the comments and suggestions of the DCP committee. Organize the production team and prepare logistic requirements, secure permits, location clearances, and access approvals for identified filming sites as necessary. Ensure the proposed AVP runs within 5 minutes and incorporates graphic, logos, voiceover, subtitles, music scoring, and other video production elements. Second one is the production. Provide full production management, including on-site shoot, coordination, and liaison with the DICT, project stakeholders, and other relevant entities, ensuring strict compliance with health and safety protocols. Supply all necessary production equipment, high-quality cameras, microphones, lighting, and laptops, and etc. Oversee filming and ensure alignment with the approved storyboard and script. cover travel, communication, logistical, and other incidental expenses related to the production. Manpower requirements provide qualified personnel for all aspects of production, including project manager or director, overall supervision and coordination with the ICT and stakeholders, scriptwriter or creative lead, script finalization and storyboard guidance, videographer or cinematographer, on-site filming and equipment operation, editor or post-production specialist, editing and post-production alignment with approved storyboard, sound designer or the music specialist will be for visual effects, graphics, and audio integration. Third one is the post-production. Perform full video editing and assembly in accordance with the approved storyboard. Submit initial AVP drafts for review and revise based on consolidated comments and resubmit until final approval is secured from the DCP committee. Provide master copies of the final AVPs in the required formats. It can be MP4, MOV, or WMV, and turn over all raw video materials in an internal hard drive. Ensure all video and audio outputs comply with the following minimum technical specifications. For video is 1080p, Full HD wide aspect ratio, and 4K UHD. And then for audio, we have 128 kbps AAC, clear and properly balanced. And then the last one is the other guidelines. Refrain from featuring political figures, logos, and remarks in the AVP to ensure a neutral and inclusive appeal. Include logos of digital cities, the ICT, and IBPOP during the mention of the Digital Cities program. Feature contact information of the city or ICT council, which potential locators or investors can reach out for a stronger call to action. Refrain from using stock photos or clips in the AVP. Add subtitles to the final file of the AVP. Content specifications. For the minimum specifications, we have number 1, the overview of the program. It consists of background of the program, overview of the program, overview of the Digital Cities 2025 scorecard, Digital Cities program roadmap. Sorry. We have the target generation until 2025 and 31 digital cities. The next one is the policy framework for IT-BPM investors. Consists of government policies in support to IT-BPM investors, national laws and legislation in support to IT-BPM industry, incentives from BOI and PEZA. And then the second one is local laws or local ordinances providing city benefits and incentives. Can be tax holidays, exclusive contract, and others. The third one is the countryside as an IT-BPM destination. Status of the countryside ICT development in terms of infrastructure, availability of digital fiber optic network, available commercial real estates, number of airport, land, sea terminals from the city hall, DOT accredited hotels and other accommodation, existing telecommunications providers in the area. Second one is the talent, number of graduates produced annually, college courses or TechVoc graduate. Distribution of graduates, college courses in the accounting, engineering, health-related courses, and more. Number of schools with centers of excellence. Third one is the cost of doing business, commercial and residential real estates, rentals per square meters, minimum wage, and then the utility rates, power rates or water rates. Business environment, PEZA accredited IT eco zones, presence of IT BPM company or workforce, brief description of ICT councils, disaster risk reduction management, system, if any, and others. The fourth one is IT BPM sectors. We have contact center and BPO software and information technology, game development, animation, healthcare information management, and global in-house centers. Should we highlight the program's potential as an IT BPM destination specific to the different IT BPM sector industries? Um, the fifth one is the call to action. Local and international IT BPM investors to locate in their city, and the national agencies to support the Digital Cities program. And the last one is the partnership and linkages. Logo of the city with partner agencies. Ownership and intellectual property rights. All materials and documents generated as a result of this project shall be owned by the DICT, depending on the source of information or ideation. The service provider shall not have any right of ownership over the raw or final material submitted and shall not be authorized to release said materials publicly. The name of the service provider may only be acknowledged during the credits and not share the billing as funder or convener of the program. Next one is the proposed budget or cost. The budget to be incurred in the procurement of professional services for the development of the procurement of consulting services for the development of high-quality audio visual presentations to promote Tarlac City, Olongapo City, and Cabanatuan City as competitive IT BPM hubs is 1,500,000 pesos, chargeable against the IIDB 2025 funds, subject to existing budget, accounting, and auditing rules and regulations. Timeline, deliverables, schedule, and mode of payment. So for the timeline here, we have the development and submission of the storyboard and script for the three cities. That should be 10 calendar days upon receipt of the notice of proceed. The deliverables will be initial storyboard and script submitted to DCP committee. The next one is the submission of the comments and suggestion for revision from the DCP committee. That should be 5 calendar days upon receipt of the proposed storyboard and script. Deliverables will be consolidated feedback on initial storyboard and script. The third one is the submission of the revised storyboard and script for the three cities by the individual service provider as approved by the DCP committee. And that should be 5 calendar days upon receipt of the comments, suggestions from the DCP committee. The deliverables will be the final storyboard script approved by the DCP committee, and that is the first payment for the timeline, which is the 30% of the said ABC. Production and post-production of the 3 5-minute AVPs by the individual service provider to the DCP committee. That will be 40 calendar days upon submission of the final approved storyboard and script for the three cities. And then the deliverables will be the first draft of the AVP submitted to DCP committee. The fifth one will be the submission of comments and suggestions for the revision of the first draft from the DCP team and stakeholders. And then that will be 5 calendar days upon receipt of the first draft of the AVP for the three cities. And then the deliverables will be consolidated feedback on the first draft. The sixth one will be the submission of the revised draft of the AVP with comments from the DCP committee, which is the second draft. And then that will be 3 calendar days upon submission of these comments and suggestions for revisions of the first draft from the DCP team and stakeholders. And deliverables will be second draft incorporating first round feedback. And that is the second payment, which will be 30% of the said ABC. Okay. And then the seventh one is the submission of comments and suggestions for revision for the second draft from the DCP team and stakeholders. That will be 2 calendar days upon receipt of the second draft of the AVP. Deliverables will be consolidated feedback on second draft. Next one is submission of the revised second draft of the AVP by the individual service provider to the committee, and that will be the third draft. And that is 3 calendar days upon submission of the comments and suggestions for revision of the second draft from the DCPT and stakeholders. And the deliverables will be third draft incorporating second round feedback. And then the last one will be the submission of the final AVP as approved by the DCP committee. And that will be 2 calendar days upon receipt of the third draft of the AVP for Tarlac City, Olongapo City, and Cabanatuan City. And then the deliverables will be the final AVPs for the three cities, and that will be the last payment for 40% of the said ABC. And that will be the total of 75 calendar days for generation of the three AVPs. The source of fund will be 4-year 2025 IIDB fund on the procurement of consulting services for the development of high-quality audiovisual presentations to promote the Tarlac City, Olongapo City, and Cabanatuan City as competitive ITBPM hubs under the Digital Cities program with sub-arrow number 2025-04-0543. And then the project delivery, the provider shall comply with each deliverable set by the end user within 75 calendar days upon receipt of notice to proceed. Qualification of the firm and its personnel. Our criteria will be applicable experience of the firm in professional audiovisual presentation or AVP production, preferably in government entity. Minimum qualification will be at least 5 years in business, must have engaged with at least 5 companies in institutions, with at least 1 engagement in government sector, and must have completed at least 5 AVP projects, and preferably with government entities. It should be supported by certificate of completion, contracts, or equivalent proof of engagement. The basis will be number of completed and relevant AVP projects, preferably with government entities, submitted by certificates, completion, contracts, or equivalent proof of engagement. Can be SEC or DTI registration as well, mayor's or business permit, and that will be 50% score of the score. Qualification of principal and key staff of the consultant who may be assigned to the job vis-a-vis extent and complexity of the undertaking. The minimum qualification for project manager or director will be minimum of 5 years in AVP, production or film direction. Scriptwriter or creative lead will be a minimum of 3 years in experience. Videographer or cinematographer will be minimum of 3 years professional experience, preferably in proficient HD or 4K equipment. Editor or post-production specialist, minimum of 3 years experience in editing, preferably proficient in industry standard software. Can be Adobe Premiere, After Effects, Final Cut, or equivalent. Sound designer or music specialist, minimum of 1 year in design, sound production, or scoring. Submission of duly notarized omnibus sworn statement or OSS in accordance with the RA 9184. And then the basis will be the curriculum vitae of key staffs with supporting documents, can be certificates or portfolios, and then the omnibus sworn statement. That will be 30% of the scorecard. And then the last one will be the current workload capacity of the firm. Must have no more, minimum qualification, must have no more than 2 ongoing projects, including awarded but not yet started contracts, and must submit a written commitment to complete the project within the prescribed timeline. And then the basis will be originally signed records of ongoing projects, including awarded but not yet started contracts. And that will be 20% of the scorecard. A maximum of 5 eligible bidders that will be get at least 80 based on the criteria above shall be invited to offer technical proposals. Evaluation and selection criteria for eligibility. For each criteria, as clear the applicable experience of the firm in professional audiovisual presentation, production, preferably in government entity. The basis will be number of completed and relevant AVPs supported by certificate completion, contracts or equivalent proof of engagements. That will be 50% qualification of principal and key staff to the consultant who may be assigned to the job service extent and complexity of the undertaking. As specified in the qualifications, project manager, scriptwriter, videographer, editor, sound designer, and then the submission of the omnibus sworn statement, 30%, and then the current workload capacity of the firm. Our basis will be the current workload capacity of the firm and commitment to the project timeline. That will be 20%, total of 100%. Evaluation and selection criteria for technical. We have provider of service shall adhere to government procurement procedures. Provider of service should have at least 5 years of experience delivering the same services, which is the AVP production, preferably for a government entity. At least of previous projects for the past 2 years shall be submitted for references. Submission of list shall be accompanied with proof of procurement, such as receipt or contract or equivalent. At least 2 to 4 demo reels and sample AVPs shall be submitted. The provider should agree to any amendments or provisions not covered by this TOR and shall be subject to prior agreement by the parties. The provider shall be evaluated using the Annex 1 supplier evaluation matrix of this document. The matrix shall be part of the assessment which will be accomplished by the DICT Region Technical Working Group. Awarding of the procurement shall be based on the highest rated and responsive bid that is equal or higher than the hurdle rate of 80% using quality-based evaluation procedures. For technical evaluation, the first one will be the applicable experience of the firm in professional audiovisual presentation, production, preferably in government entity. Basis will be the list of completed similar projects with proofs, and that will be 30%. Second one will be the qualification of principal and key staff of the consultant who may be assigned to the job, extent and complexity of the undertaking. Curriculum vitae and portfolios of proposed staff will be the basis, and that will be 20%. Plan of approach and methodology is in delivering the services required. Basis will be proposed concept or theme, proposed work plan, and timeline. That will be 20%. And then the last one will be the quality of previous outputs, submitted demo reels and samples, AVPs. That will be 30%, total of 100%. For payment terms, first one will be the submission of the final storyboard of the Relax City, Olongapo City, and Cabanatuan City as approved by the DICT personnel. Payment shall be released upon submission and acceptance of final storyboard for the 3 cities on a per deliverable basis within 30 calendar days from fund availability and upon submission of a statement of account or sales invoice by the supplier. Payment shall be inclusive of all applicable services. Applicable taxes and charges. A 10% retention fee shall be withheld, and that will be a total of 30% of total contract amount. Second one, submission of the revised first draft of the AVP of Tarlac City, Olongapo City, and Cabanatuan City as approved by the DICT personnel. Payment shall be released upon submission and acceptance of the revised first draft of the AVP for 3 cities on a per deliverable basis within 30 calendar days from fund availability and upon submission of the statement of account or sales invoice by the supplier. Payment shall be inclusive of all applicable taxes and charges. And then a 10% retention fee shall be withheld, total of 30% of total contract amount. Third payment will be submission of the revised and final Tarlac City, Longapo City, and Cabanatuan City as approved by the DICT personnel. Payment shall be released upon the submission and acceptance of the revised and final AVP for the three cities on a per deliverable basis within 30 calendar days from the fund availability and upon submission of a statement of account or sales invoice with the supplier. Payment shall be inclusive of all applicable taxes and charges, and the 10% retention fee shall be withheld. And then the last payment will be the 40% of the total contract amount. Our liquidated damages failure to comply with the TOR shall result in the imposition of liquidated damages at the rate of 1/10 of 1% of the cost of the unperformed portion for every day of delay until actual delivery of performance. Once the cumulative liquidated damages reach 10% of the contract price, the DICT shall have the right to resign the contract without prejudice to other remedies. Delays caused by events beyond consultant reasonable control, such as typhoons, floods, earthquakes, or other severe weather conditions will not be subject to liquidated damages, provided the consultant notifies the DICT in writing within 5 calendar days of the occurrence. Okay. And then here is the Annex 1, Supplier Evaluation Matrix Eligibility Evaluation. And we have here the parameters rating for eligibility evaluation for applicable experience of the firm in professional audiovisual presentation. 100 points will be gained for 6 or more relevant AVP projects, 85 for 5 relevant AVP projects, 50 for 1 to 4 relevant AVP projects, and 0 to no relevant projects. Years of experience, 100 for more than 6 years of experience, 85 for 5 years of experience, 50 for 1 to 4 years of experience, and 0 for less than 1 year. And that is for the project manager. For our scriptwriter, videographer, editor, and then the sound designer, the parameter will be 100 for more than 4 years of relevant experience, 85 for 3 years of relevant experience, 50 points for 1 to 2 years of relevant experience, and 0 for no relevant experience. For the current workload or capacity of the firm, that will be 100 with no other ongoing project, 85 for 1 to 3 ongoing projects, and 0 for with 4 or more ongoing projects. And that will be 20%. For our qualification of principal of key staffs, total of 30%, the 10% will go under the experience of project manager, and other staff will gain 5% each. And that is for the scriptwriter, videographer, editor, and sound designer. And then 50% for relevant AVP projects. Okay, so for Annex 2, we have the supplier evaluation matrix for the technical evaluation. Here is the basis. And then for our parameter, the first one will be applicable experience of the firm in professional audiovisual presentation. So this is same as above from the eligibility evaluation from the Annex 1. And then the second one, sorry, plan of approach and methodology in delivering the service required. So for parameters, we 100 for um sorry, very good characteristic under good or present additional activities or recommendations that add value to the project. Important issues are approached in an innovative and efficient way, indicating that their offer have understood the main issues of the assignment and have outstanding knowledge of new solutions. The proposal details ways to improve and results the quality of the assignment by using various approaches, methodologies, and knowledge. 85 for good and for good. The proposed approach is discussed in more detail, and the methodology is specifically tailored to the characteristic of the assignment and flexible enough to allow its adaptation to changes that may occur during the product execution. 50 points, satisfactory. The steps to carry out the different activities of the TOR is discussed generically. The approach is standard and not specifically tailored to the assignment. Although the approach and methodology are suitable, they don't include a discussion on how the offer or proposes to deal with critical characteristic of the assignment. 0 points for poor. The approach is not appropriate or suitable to the assignment. And then the last one will be the quality of previous outputs. 100 points if the score for Appendix A is between 86 to 100. If the score for Appendix A is between 71 to 85, the score will be 85. And 50 points if the score for Appendix A is between 51 to 70. And 0 if the score for Appendix A is less than 50. And this is the Appendix A, or the factor weight rating. It consists of 4 criteria: creativity, organization, overall impact, and then the videos submitted have similar requirements to the Digital Cities Program, or AVP. And the weight factor for this criteria is for creativity 30, organization 30, overall impact is 30, and then for the video submitted, that is 10, total of 100. And then the technical skills, we have cinematography. The videos presented use the medium effective and framing composition, lighting, camera movements, and colors are handled expertly. The quality of the video output is in full high definition and a wide aspect ratio, total weight of 30. For audio, sound effects, music, or voice, the audio is clear, the music used does not violate copyright laws, and the videos are not overscored, and the voice talents fit the entire video output. Score will be 20. For editing, the videos presented show expertise in the use of editing software to achieve a coherent output. The use of graphics, text, animation, transition, and color grading enhance the quality of the video and makes the content more understandable and interesting. Score will be 30. And then the production value, effort, and professionalism of the production team is obvious in each video sample presented, making the videos more engaging. The team pays attention to production details and design in order to bring out the best aspects of the product or idea being presented. That is 20 and total of 100. For the content and narrative elements, that is 40% of the score. And then for technical skills, that is 60% of the score. So for the parameters of the creativity, for the parameters of the technical skills, for creativity, we have 100. Theme and concept are highly original, imaginative, and innovative, strong storytelling ideas. 85 for creative and engaging, some fresh ideas but not fully innovative. 50 for shows average originality predictable in parts, and 0 for very unoriginal, repetitive, or generic. And that will be 30% of the weight. Organization, 100 points for the narrative. The narrative is very clear, logical, and easy to follow. Strong structure from the start to end. 85 points for mostly clear and organized, minor lapses in flow. 50 points somewhat confusing, uneven pacing, or unclear sequence. And 0 for no clear storyline or confusing to the viewer. And that will be 30% of the weight as well. Overall impact, 100 points for strongly impactful, very engaging, and memorable. Creates a convincing call to action. 85 points for engaging, leaves a noticeable impression. 50 points for somewhat engaging, but limited impact, partly forgettable. And 0 for no impact, fails to engage or connect. That will be 30% of the scorecard as well. And then for the relevance, we have 100 points for fully aligned with Digital City AVP goals and requirements. 85 mostly relevant, only minor mismatches. 50 points for somewhat relevant and vague connection. 0 for not relevant at all. 10% in weight rating. For our technical skills, cinematography, 100 points for professional grade visuals, framing, lighting, camera movement, and color are excellent. Video is full HD. 85 points, very good visual with minor technical issues. 50 points, adequate visual but inconsistent lighting or framing issues present. 0 for weak, low quality, amateur level visuals. That will be 30% of the scorecard. For audio, we have 100 points. Crisp, clear, well-balanced audio, no noise, background music copyright safe, voice fits well. And then 85 points for clear overall but with minor flaws, slight imbalances. 50 points for understandable but unpolished, noticeable flaws, and then 0 for distracting and clear or violates copyright rules. That will be 20% of the scorecard. For editing, 100 points for seamless professional editing, effective use of graphics, transitions, text and color grading, enhanced story. 85 points for strong editing with few flaws, mostly coherent and polished. 50 points for adequate editing but rough. Transition, text, and graphics feel basic. 0 for weak or distracting editing, incoherent final. That will be 30% of the scorecard. And then the last one will be the production value. 100 points for highly professional, strong attention to detail. Can be the props, set, design, or effort, obvious. Professional overall, only minor lapses in design or detail. 50 points for adequate, lacks polish and refinement, and 0 points for amateur. Low effort, minimal attention to detail. And that will be 20% of the scorecard. And then the annex 3 will be the concept and script checklist. Overview of the program, overview of the city, policy framework for ITBPM investors, city as an ITBPM destination, the city niche, and then the call to action, partnerships and linkages, and then other details discussed with the LGU, ICT Council during the pre-production meeting. And then for our Annex 4, we have the final video output checklist, promotional audiovisual presentation for Tarlac City, Olongapo City, and Cabanatuan City. The final video output should be running time 4 to 5 minutes. Format should be MP4. One video output rendered and exported in 1080 FHD. One video output should be rendered and exported in 4K UHD. The audio at least 128 kbps AAC. and one external hard drive containing the required video outputs and the rushes and materials. And that's for our terms of reference.
Kindly proceed with the bidding documents.
All right, po, sir.
Kindly focus on section 1, section 3, and then the checklist. On the checklist of a technical and financial proposal, kindly run over also on, wait lang. Um, Kindly run over also on page 20, the preparation of bids, section 10 and 11. So that's the description of the checklist of requirements. Okay?
Sorry, sir. Page 20 po.
Mauna ka na muna dun sa section 1, the invitation for the shortlisted. Yung
Okay po,
part,
sir.
I think meron tayong updated na part 2 na bidding documents. Can we use that?
Oh, yung Rebid. I'm sorry. Let me just pull up that.
Yeah, yung part 2. Send ko ba sa sa Messenger?
Yes, sir. Sorry. Sige po.
Ayan, sent na.
Thank you so much po, sir.
And so go over with section 1, section 3, and then the bidding forms and then checklists.
All right. Let me start ko for our bidding document. For our section 1, that will be the notice of eligibility and shortlisting. Okay, here. The Department of Information and Communications Technology Region 3, as the procuring entity, was granted by the government of the Philippines, or the GOP, through the 4-year 2025 ICT Industry Development Bureau Fund with the sub-arrow number 2025-04-0543, hereinafter called the funding source, toward the cost of the procurement of consulting services for the development of high-quality audiovisual presentations to promote Tarlac City, Olongapo City, and Cabanatuan City as competitive IT BPM hubs per bid reference number BAC-2025-007 Rebid, herein referred as consulting services. The procuring entity now invites bids to provide the following consulting services in creation of the three 5-minute promotional AVPs, one each for Tarlac City, Olongapo City, and Cabanatuan City. More details on the services are provided in terms of reference for the project. The consultant shall be selected and employed in accordance with the quality-based evaluation or selection, or the QBE or QBS procedure as described in the bidding documents. This notice has been addressed to the following shortlisted consultants. That will be the Smarter Multimedia Services and then the Carbon Digital Inc. It is not permissible for you to transfer this invitation to any other consultant. The bidding documents may be acquired at the DICT Region 3, third floor Marathon Square Building, Cagayan Valley Road, Santa Rita, Guiguinto, Bulacan, 3015. during 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. in the amount of 5,000 pesos. And then the DICT Region 3 will hold a pre-bid conference on December 4, 2025 at 9 a.m. at the DICT Region 3 conference room or via Zoom. In the interest of fairness, only those who have been shortlisted and who have purchased the bidding documents are allowed to participate in the said private conference. Next one will be the technical and financial bids must be delivered to the address below on or before December 16, 2025 at 12 noon. All tendered bids must be accompanied by a bid security in any of the acceptable forms and in the amount stated in the ITB clause 15. Late bids shall not be accepted. Bid opening shall be done in the DICT Region 3 conference room or via Zoom on December 16, 2025 at 4 p.m. and bids will be opened in the presence of the bidders' representatives who choose to attend at the address below. Late bids shall not be accepted. Bidders are encouraged to send at most one representative to be physically present at the bid opening. The DICT region reserves the right to accept or reject any bid, to annul the bidding process, and to reject all bids at any time prior to contract award, without thereby incurring any liability to the affected bidder or bidders. For further information, please refer to Ms. Nerv G. De Guzman, the head of the BAC Secretariat, Department of Information and Communications Technology, Region 3, in the third floor, Marathon Square Building, Cagayan Valley Road, Santa Rita, Bulacan, 3015. The phone number will be 0447923743. And then the email address will be DICTR3 backsec at dict.gov.ph. They'll be signed by the back chairperson, Edwin Miranda. Yeah, that that has been sent to our bidders from Carbon Digital and Smarter Multimedia po. Okay. Sorry po, back chair clarification. Should I run to here under section 2?
Please proceed with section 3.
All
The
right.
bid data sheet.
All right. Thank you po. All right. Section 3 of the bidding documents, that will be the bid data sheet. So for the IDB clause 1.1, the procuring entity is the Department of Information and Communications Technology, Region 3. The evaluation procedure is the quality-based evaluation or selection. ITB clause 1.2, the funding source is the government of the Philippines through the 4-year 2025 IIDB fund sub-arrow number 2025-04-0543. ITB clause 1.3, procurement of consulting services for the development of high quality audiovisual presentations to promote Tarlac City, Olongapo City, and Cabanatuan City is competitive. ITBPM House. Clause 1.4 will be the project shall not be phased. ITB clause 5, no further instructions. For 6.1, subcontracting is not allowed. For 6.2 is not applicable. For 7.1, the procuring entity will hold a private conference for this project on December 4th, 2025, 9 a.m. at the Department of Information Communications Technology, Region 3, 3rd floor Marathon Square Building, Cagayan Valley Road, Santa Rita, Bulacan, 3015, and through video conferencing or webcasting. For the clause 8.1, the procuring entity address is the Department of Information Communications Technology, Region 3, 3rd floor Marathon Square Building, Cagayan Valley Road, Santa Rita, Bulacan, 3015 under Nerve G. de Guzman as the BAC Secretariat 0447923743, and then the email will be the DICT R3BACSec at dict.gov.ph. For the clause 10.1b, that is not applicable. For 10.1c, the minimum required experience of proposed professional staff is as follows. Provider of service should have at least 5 years of experience delivering the same service, the AVP production, preferably for a government-aided identity. For clause 11.5, taxes, inclusive of any and all taxes, including but not limited to the applicable value-added tax, fees and duties and such other imposed or levies which may be required by the government. For clause 11.7, the ABC is 1,500,000 pesos. Any bid with a financial component exceeding this amount shall not be accepted. For clause 13.1, the bid prices shall be quoted in Philippines peso. 13.3, no further instruction. For 14.1, bids will be valid until 120 days from bid submission. 15.1, the bid security shall be limited to a bid securing declaration or any of the following forms and amounts. First one is the amount of not less than 30,000 pesos of bid securing is in cash, cashier's or manager's checks, bank draft or guarantee, or irrevocable letter of credit, or the amount or of not less than 75,000 pesos if bid security is in surety bond. For clause 15.2, the bid security shall be valid until 120 days from bid submission. 15.5, no further instruction. For 17.1, no further instruction as well. 17.3, each bidder shall submit one original and two copies of the first and second components of its bid. For clause 18, the address for submission of bids in Department of Information and Communications Technology, Region 3, third floor, Marison Square Building, Cagayan Valley Road, Santa Rita, Ginto, Bulacan 3015. The deadline for the submission of bids is December 16, 2025 at 12 noon. For clause 21.2, the address for opening of bids is Department of Information and Communications Technology, Region 3, third floor, Marison Square, Building, Cagayan Valley Road, Santa Rita, Giginto, Bulacan 3015. And the date and time for opening of bids is December 16, 2025 at 4 p.m. ITB clause 22.1 is no further instruction. Great. And then for ITB clause 25.1, the following processes for the opening and evaluation of bids shall be adopted. A two-stage procedure shall be adopted, whereby each consultant shall be required to submit his technical and financial proposals simultaneously in separate sealed envelopes. After receipt of bids, the technical proposal shall first be opened and evaluated. In accordance with the ITB clause 25.2, the BAC shall rank the consultants in descending order based on the numerical ratings of their technical proposals and identify the highest rated bid, provided, however, that the highest rated bid shall pass the minimum score indicated therein. The hope shall approve or disapprove the recommendations of the BAC within 2 calendar days after receipt of the results of the evaluation from the BAC. After approval by the hope of the highest rated bid, the financial proposal shall be opened. The BAC shall within 3 calendar days notify the the consultant with the highest rated bid for the opening of the financial proposal for the purpose of conducting negotiations which the said with the said consultant. In the letter of notification, the BAC shall inform the consultant of the issues in the technical proposal, and then the BAC may wish to clarify during negotiations. Next one is the negotiation will be in accordance with the ITB Clause 27, provided that the amount indicated in the financial envelope shall be made as the basis for negotiations, and the total contract amount shall not exceed the amount indicated in the envelope and the ABC stated in ITB Clause 11.7. The numerical weight and the minimum required ST for each criterion are as follows. The factor rating under the applicable experience of the firm in professional audiovisual presentation, preferably in the government entity, is 30%. Qualification of principal and key staff of the consultant who may be assigned to the job visa, extent and complexity of the undertaking is 20%. Plan of approach and methodology in delivering the services required, 20%. Quality of previous output is 30%, total of 100%. And then the minimum points required to pass is 80 points. And then the attention of the consultant is drawn of the technical proposal forms. Bids must adhere to the maximum number of pages outlined in clause 10.2b. For clause 26.1, the opening of financial proposals shall be on December 16, 2025 at 4 p.m. at the Department of Information and Communications Technology, Region 3, 3rd floor Morrison Square Building, Cagayan Valley Road, Santa Rita, Ginto, Bulacan, 3015. Financial proposals shall be open in public. And take note that the opening of financial proposals in public or otherwise depends on the evaluation procedures to be used by the procuring entity. ITB Clause 26.2. If the funding source is GOP, only the financial proposals of the consultant uh, achieving the highest technical score shall be opened by the BAC in the presence of the consultants when the highest ranked firm is invited to negotiate its bid and the contract on the basis of the technical and financial proposal submitted in accordance with the instructions given in ITB Clause 25 and this BDS. The BAC shall determine whether the financial proposals are complete or whether all the documents mentioned in ITB Clause 11 are present and all items of the corresponding technical proposals that are required to be priced are so priced. If not, the procuring entity shall reject the bid. The BAC shall correct any computational errors and convert prices in various currencies to the Philippine peso at the rate indicated in ITB Clause 13. The financial proposal shall not exceed the ABC. The bid shall be deemed to include the cost of all taxes, duties, fees, levies, and other charges imposed under the applicable laws. The negotiation shall be done in accordance with the ITB Clause 27, and should these negotiations fail, the financial proposal of the consultant achieving the second highest shall be opened publicly in the presence of the consultant and shall be invited to negotiate its bid and contract on the basis of the technical and financial proposal submitted. If these negotiations still fail, then the same process is repeated for the next in-rank consultants until negotiations are successfully completed. Alright. For ITB Clause 27.1, the address for negotiations is Department of Information and Communications Technology, Region 3, 3rd floor, Marison Square Building, Cagayan Valley Road, Santa Rita, Giginto, Bulacan. 27.2E, no further instructions. For Clause 28.2, list licenses and permits relevant to the project and the corresponding law requiring it will be the bid documents. First one is the field trips registration, DTI or SEC registration, mayor's or business permit, DIR registration, Google Drive link that contains at least 2 to 4 demo reels and sample AVPs. For 31.4.6, no additional requirement. For 32.1, no further instructions. And then for 33.2, the effective date of the contract is the date of signing of contract. All right. All right. So for under the section 7 of the bidding documents, that will be the bidding forms. It consists of the technical proposal forms, bid securing declaration, financial proposal forms, and the form of contract agreement. Notes for the consultants. The following summarizes the content and maximum number of pages permitted for the technical proposal. A page is considered to be one printed side of A4 or letter size paper. Cover letter. Use the TPF1 technical proposal submission form. The experience of the firm. Maximum of 133 introducing the background and general experience of the consultant, including its partners and subconsultants, if any. Maximum of 133 completed projects in the format of TPF2, which is the consultant references illustrating the relevant experience of the consultant, including its partner and subconsultants, if any, and no promotional material should be included. General approach and methodology, work and staffing schedule. Use the TPF4 for the description of the methodology and work plan for performing the project, TPF5 for the team composition and task, TPF7 for time schedule and professional for personnel, and TPF8 for the activity or work schedule. If subcontracting is allowed, add the following. If the consultant will engage some subconsultant for the portions of the consulting services allowed to be subcontracted, the consultant shall indicate which portions of the consulting services will be subcontracted. Identify the corresponding subconsultant and include the legal eligibility documents of such subconsultant. For the curriculum vitae, use the TPF6, which is the format of the curriculum vitae for proposed professional staff. Comments on the terms of reference and data and facilities to be provided by the procuring entity. Not more than 133 using the TPF3. Comments and suggestions of the consultants of the terms of reference and on data services and facilities to be provided. So for our technical proposal forms, okay, let me read the technical proposal submission form. We, the undersigned, offer to provide the consulting services for, which is a project, in accordance with your bidding documents and our bid. We are hereby submitting our bid, which includes this technical proposal and the financial proposal sealed under a separate envelope. In accordance with the ITB Clause 21.1, we confirm that the information contained in the eligibility document submitted earlier together with the expression of interest remain correct as of the date of bid submission. If negotiations are held during the period of bid validity before the date, we undertake to negotiate on the basis of the proposed staff. Our bid is binding upon us and subject to the modifications resulting from contract negotiations. In accordance with the GCC Clause 51, we acknowledge and accept the procuring entity's right to inspect and audit all records relating to our bid irrespective of whether we enter into a contract with the procuring entity as a result of the bid or not. We understand you are not bound to accept any bid received for the selection of a consultant for the project. And we acknowledge that the failure to sign the technical proposal submission form and the above mentioned financial proposal submission forms shall be ground for the rejection of our bid. Okay. And then the next one will be the technical proposal form 2, the consultant references. TPF3, the comments and suggestions consultant on the terms of reference and on data, services, and facilities to be provided by the procuring entity, not more than 133 po. Description of the methodology and work plan for performing the project, that will be the technical proposal forms 4. TPF5 will be the team composition and task. TPF6, format curriculum vitae, should be notarized as well po. Technical proposal forms, timeline schedule for professional personnel. TPF8, activity or work schedule. And then our bid securing declaration. So let me just read lang po. If I or we, they understand, declare that we understand that according to your conditions, bids must be supported by a bid security which may be in the form of a bid securing declaration. I or we accept that will be automatically disqualified from the bidding for any contract with any procuring entity for a period of 2 years upon receipt of the blacklisting order. And we will pay the applicable fine provided under Section 6 of the Guidelines on the use of bid security declaration within 15 days from receipt of written demand by the procuring entity for the commission of acts resulting to the enforcement of the bid securing declaration under Sections 23.1b, 34.2, 4.1, and 69.1, except 69.1f of the IRR of the Public Act 9184, without prejudice to other legal action the government may undertake. We understand that this bid securing declaration shall cease to be valid on the following circumstances. Upon expiration of the bid validity period or any extension thereof pursuant to your request, we are declared ineligible or post-disqualified upon receipt of your notice to such effect, and we failed to timely file a request for reconsideration, we filed a waiver to avail of said right. Next one, we are declared as the bidder with the highest rated responsive bid, and we have furnished the performance security and sign of the contract. And it should be signed, notarized po. And the next one will be the financial proposal forms. FPF1 will be the financial proposal form, proposal submission form. FPF2 will be the summary of cost. Financial proposal form 3 will be the breakdown of price per activity. FPF4 will be the breakdown of remuneration per activity. FPF 5 will be the reimbursables per activity. And FPF 6 is miscellaneous expenses. And then lastly, the form of contract agreement. Let me read lang po yung contract agreement natin. This agreement made the date of 2025 between the Department of Information and Communications Technology Region 3, 3rd floor Marison Square Building, Cagayan Valley Road, Santa Rita, Giginto, Bulacan, 3015, hereinafter called the entity and the name of the address of consultant, hereinafter called the consultant, whereas the entity is desirous that the consultant execute, hereinafter called
Sir Mark, I think okay na tayo sa form of
okay na.
contract agreement since baka magkaroon ng changes dito during the actual execution
I
of the
see.
contract.
Alright po.
Okay.
Okay.
Sige. Checklist na?
Checklist na tayo, sir. Right. So for our checklist po, for sorry, technical envelope proposal, we have 10 items. The TPF1, the technical proposal submission form, TPF2 consultant references, TPF3 comments and suggestions of the consultant on the terms of reference, TPF4 description of the methodology and work plan, TPF5 is the team composition and task, TPF6 the format of curriculum details, TPF7 is time schedule for personnel, TPF8 is the activity schedule, omnibus sworn statement, and the bid securing declaration. And for our financial envelope proposal, we have 6 items. The first one is the financial proposal submission form, FPF2 summary of costs, FPF3 breakdown of price per activity, FPF4 breakdown of remuneration per activity, and FPF5 reimbursables per activity, and FPF6 miscellaneous expenses. That's it po for our checklist in technical and financial envelope batcher.
Okay, thank you for that, Sir Mark. Now we shall proceed with the question and answer portion. We shall call on each for the first round, we shall call on each company one by one to raise their questions or clarifications. And then for any additional queries, you may raise your hand after all participating companies or shortlisted companies have been called. So kindly be concise and relevant with your questions to ensure a smooth and organized discussion. Okay, so for the Q&A po, may we call on first Smarter Multimedia Services po for your queries, clarifications.
Hi, Sir Adriel, and everyone on
Hi.
the team of the DICT. Good morning, and thank you po for the very wonderful presentation. At grabe, iba na talaga ngayon, no? Tara, transparent na sa mga live viewers natin dyan. Like, share, and comment. May ano lang po, general query first. Siguro marami rin, siguro later na lang. First one is yung before this detailed presentation, we have the general rule, right? Nakalagay dito, we have the principle of pass or fail, evaluation of selection method, and then bids above ABC are automatically disqualified. And all submitted bid envelopes shall be marked and properly sealed, and no bid modification is allowed after deadline of bid submission or no alternative bids. May question siguro, sir. First is yung, can you tackle us, or siguro in layman's term, on how ongoing be the process or simulation during the bid opening? Kasi nakalagay dito, principle or of pass or fail. Does it mean that i-check muna yung mga like ito, TPF1, meron ba? TPF2, meron ba? TPF3, meron ba? TPF4. Kung nasubmit na po lahat yun, then we'll go to the quality-based evaluation or selection. So, just siguro, i-ano nyo lang sa amin kung paano kasi syempre, grabe sir, kung nakikita nyo tong papel, we have to read. I know everyone in the back members also let's also read this one. So for us, very critical rin po ito kasi isang mali lang po namin dito or isang ano na masubmit, it can be a valid reason for us to be disqualified. Yan po.
Sige sir. Bali actually it's since I think nag-participate naman po kayo with other government agencies with regards
Yes po.
sa goods and services po ano sa mga bid openings ng goods and services. Actually it's also the same process on what we did on the part 1. So that was also the pass or fail criterion based on the checklist or the requirements indicated in our instructions to bidders no. So tama po kayo sir, you will include in the envelope all these requirements po or all these forms po na naka-indicate po sa ating checklist. Actually, itong checklist, sinummarize na lang po namin to kung ano yung nandun
Yeah.
sa instruction to bidders, no? Yung sa instruction to bidders, nandun talaga yung details na isa-isa. Later on, we'll go back on that portion. So, tama kayo, sir. Pass or fail criterion. Nandyan ba si TPF1? Signed ba siya? Deemed ano ba siya? Valid? So, yun po yung magiging basis po natin. So, yun po yung magiging basis po natin para po ma-rate po as compliant yung ating technical envelope proposal.
Mm.
Ayan siya, sir. So, lahat po yan from TPF1 to TPF8. So, nasa technical envelope proposal po yan. Isa-isahin po natin yan. TPF1, nandyan ba? TPF2, nandyan ba? Kompleto ba? No? Signed ba? Notarized ba? So, yun sir, yun po yung ating titignan pagdating po sa ating bid evaluation during bid opening. Tapos, correction lang din kanina, yung financial envelope proposal po will be opened after po ng ano, after ng anong tawag dito? Evaluation po ng QBE pag na-determine na po yung highest rated bid. Kasi dun sa presentation kanina, I think nasabay siya dun sa December 16 pero there will be a time po for evaluation ng TWG on the technical envelope proposal and then following the QBE principle after po ma-determine ng each highest rated bid, responsive bid, doon po natin i-schedule yung opening ng financial envelope. Ayun, sir. So again, sir, to answer your question, same concept po nung pass or fail criterion na ginagawa sa goods and services.
Yes.
Ayan.
Thank you for that, Adriel. Can I have a follow-up question po
Sige po.
kumbaga ito na yung pagkakataon po rin po namin and para may chance rin po yung next na company to
Opo,
ask
no worries
questions.
po. Let's take time po on
Yes.
this para mas
Yung
clear.
ano po sir, yung bid security, I mean, saan nakapaloob yun? Or parang on your end na ba yun? Or
Bid securing declaration. Sir Mark, can you check if nandun siya sa ating forms, which I believe nandun dapat.
kasi if we follow this checklist, wala siya doon, di ba? Parang by means of principle, pero it's required na dapat mayroon. Let us know kung paano po.
Bid securing
Here po.
declaration, I think nasa page 119.
Ito po, sir.
Oo.
Page 119 po.
Ayan, nandyan
We have
siya.
template.
But I think Sir Adriel, correct us so kung paano. Kasi based doon sa nabasa kanina, parang may, usually kasi di ba may tatlong options yan.
Yes
Credit
po.
issued, yung isa is didiretso kami magbayad.
Oo, surety
But
bond,
none
etc.
of that is walang naka-indicate na bid securing. So parang ibig sabihin, required kami magbayad eh. So can you
Okay.
please confirm kung pwede yung ganyan, big securing declaration, or should we follow yung instruction to bidders niyo?
Sige sir, thank you for that keen observation. We'll check on the instruction to bidders or bid data sheet on or if we will change it or i-include po namin yung bid securing declaration in the form of this form po. We'll ano sir, sige, we'll double check on that matter sir. And then we'll issue a SBB for that. Supplemental bid
Thank you, Sir
bulletin just
Adriel.
for clarification.
Ano lang, sir, wishlist lang. Sana i-approve nyo itong bid security para libre na sa amin ngayong Christmas.
Sige sir, we will double check on that.
Sige po. Yun lang po. Thank you very much for the napaka-detailed naman na po yung presentation and salamat po sa time
Okay
and
sir,
effort.
sige po.
Thank you, Sir Adriel. Thank you po.
Thank you, sir. Thank you then. From Carbon Digital, do you have any questions po or clarifications?
Hi po, good morning.
Good
For
morning.
our end naman, wala naman po kaming questions.
Okay.
Very detailed naman po yung presentation natin. Ayun po. Maraming
Okay.
salamat.
Okay, thank you po, Miss Cheryl. Sir Mark, can you go back to the instruction to bidders? I think that is section 10. Section 10 ba or 20? On the content of the technical financial form. Hindi, sa instruction to bidders. Page, ano bang page? Ano, wait lang. Section 2. Page 20. Page 20. Yan. So kindly ano po no, kung medyo may confusion po kayo dun sa ating hindi, baba. Section 10. Um Forms, nandito po yan nakalagay no. So yung mga descriptions po nila. And this is the documents that will comprise the technical proposal. No, sige baba pa. Here, section 10.2. So, nandiyan yan, TPF1, no? TPF2, ayan, ito yung sinasabi ni Sir kanina na bid security. No? So, we will double check this one if ilalagay natin yung in the form of bid securing declaration. Okay? So, noted on that. And then, ayan, nandito rin yan mga TPF3. So, the description is here in the instruction to bidders po. No? Kindly just double check na lang din po talaga. Okay. So, again, dun sa bid data sheet natin, nakalagay dun yung opening of financial document. We will change that. That should be to be determined no, upon after the determination of the HRRB or the highest rated and responsive bid. So during the bid opening on December 16, ang i-open lang po natin is the technical envelope, technical proposal. And then i-evaluate po 'yon ng BAC together with the TWG. Then kung sino man po yung maging highest rated, siya po yung bubuksan natin ng financial envelope. Okay, so we'll send another invite po for that matter. And then ano pa bang i-clarify ko? For the financial proposal form 5 and 6. Sige nga sir, nandito din 'yan. Sige, baba mo lang. Ayan, baba pa. Ay, ito. 6. 5 and 6. So, reimbursables per activity and miscellaneous expenses. So, since ang ating ABC ay included naman na po dapat lahat dun, no? So, dito po sa reimbursables per activity and miscellaneous expenses, um, if wala, ENA na lang po natin siya, no? Not applicable since you cannot reimburse po sa amin since kasama na lahat dapat dun sa ABC natin. Okay. Ayan. Sige po, sir from Smarter Multimedia.
Yeah, Sir
Sir Matt.
Adrian,
Yeah, Sir Matt.
thank you po.
Mm.
Please recognize ako. Thank you, Sir Adrian, for the recognition. Tawag po doon. So, by means of kanina po na technical mo ni bubuksan, so the financial proposal as to per requirement is essential. But for us, sa point of view po ng supplier, parang we will focus more on the technical proposal, sir, right? Like kami, hindi factor kung 500,000 lang, ganun. Pero kasi bago bubuksan yon, dapat you should be the highest rated on the technical first,
Yes, sir.
right?
That's right. So
Thanks.
kindly ano po, assure that on your technical proposal, let's say for example, the methodology, 'di ba part po 'yun nung ating check, anong tawag doon? Parameters for the rating. So our advice is focus on those parameters also, and then it's up to you on how you will present it in the technical proposal forms because that will be used on the rating po by the BAC and the TWG. Okay, so nandun naman po nakalagay yung mga parameters. Yes sir, sige pa, go lang sir.
Yes. So it is recommended for us as the suppliers to be physically present on the opening of bids for any clarifications, siyempre. Or should we present rin yung mga outputs doon or ano lang, kumbaga
Ano,
observation, ano lang kami, observe lang. Ano.
oo. So, our basis on that, sir, is on, well, on the submission talaga, sir, as in pass or fail talaga, no? But the content, the weight of the content, say for example on the TPF, wait lang, sir, ha. Hindi ko kabisado. Halimbawa on the TPF4, which is the description of methodology or work plan, and that will be, I think, part of the rating, no? Dahil nandito siya sa item 3, plan of approach and methodology in delivering the service required, which is 20%. The content of that will be reviewed after the bid opening, no? Kasi may separate parang ano yun eh, separate activity for the backend TWG. So on the bid opening, kahit po if you want to physically present po, we will appreciate it. Pero if the logistic wise po ay medyo challenging, we do live stream naman po, and tulad nito nasa Zoom. So pwede po kayong mag-participate via online. But then again, the content, the weight of the what do you call this? The technical proposal will be evaluated after the bid opening. Ayan.
All right, thank you,
Ayan,
Sir
sir.
Adriel. No further questions po.
Okay. Thank you, Sir Matt, no? May question pa po ba? Lahat po ng gusto niyong i-clarify na po natin. Dahil gusto na rin po naming ma-award itong procurement. Yes, Sir Matt.
Yes po. How's the evaluation method pala, Sir Adriel? It will be blind or not? Like, kunyari, may magpapakita ng portfolio. Kailangan nyo bang
Pakita ng
malaman na galing sa
portfolio.
amin yon, Smarter or hindi? Just to, ano lang, to avoid personal, ano ba yun?
Paano po yung portfolio? Ay, yung mga ano, yung sa sample AVPs po ba? Quality of
Yes.
the previous
Yeah,
outputs?
yung re-rate. Parang hindi ko alam kung, parang ito si Company A, Company B. The evaluators don't know who's that, kumbaga, hindi nila malalaman kung kaninong company yun. Ito yung ano ng Company A, ito yung ano ng Company B. Just to avoid parang personal judgment lang ba?
Okay.
Like for example, case in point lang, kunyari, ako kasi author rin ako ng ano parang publication eh. Hindi ko niya ako kilala yung ano, or tapos siya naman hindi niya kilala yung nag-submit, just to avoid na kumbaga barkada ko yan, tropa ko yan, parang gano'n. So if there's, hindi ko alam, pero if kung ano man pong ano mo nyo po, we'll respect that, pero just suggestion lang po.
Okay. So actually, from the previous experiences po on
Hmm.
the evaluation of AVP, hindi po siya blind. Like we really know kung, sir, kasi it's part of your submission. Yun pala, no? Thank you, sir, again for raising that. Just to highlight, no, submission of list shall be accompanied with procurement such as receipt. So at least 2 or 4 demo reels and sample AVP shall also be submitted. So on your submission po, it's up to you on if you will provide a Google Link drive or a flash drive po na nandun po sa ating technical envelope po, no? Para yun po yung susundan po namin kung ano po yung sinubmit ninyo na mga videos or demo reels or previous outputs on the bidding documents. Yun po yung i-evaluate po ng TWG and BAC. But then again, sir, hindi siya blind, as in alam
Yeah.
ng mga evaluators if this is from Smarter, this is from Carbon Digital. Ayun po. Kasi kasama po siya dun sa submission po
Yeah.
ninyo. That will be the basis. Ayun.
Sige po. Yun lang po, Sir Adriel.
Okay.
Baka
Thank you po.
mamaya baka meron na naman ako.
Okay lang, sir.
Okay na po ako
Opo.
na rin.
Yung
Thank you po.
naman po sa ano ninyo na kung ano may influence, no, barkada. I think nasa OSS naman po na
Sa
walang
bahala.
related walang related from the company and the procuring entity, especially with the back and the technical working group. Ayan.
And we
Nasa
appreciate
OSS
naman
naman
po
yun.
on our end yung parang astig ngayon, parang pabilib ako parang very ano na,
Ano
transparent
po?
and ano. Mm. Kumbaga,
Opo,
naka-live pa
required.
tayo, sir. Kaya,
Opo,
ayan. Sige po,
required
okay
na
na
po
po ako.
kasi. Okay.
Sige po, sige.
Thank you, Sir Matt. Okay, sige. Let's proceed with the next part of the agenda. Secretariat, please proceed.
In addition to the instructions presented during the discussion of the bidding documents, we are reiterating the guidelines on the envelope system and proper sealing and markings to help prevent disqualification during the opening of bid. Again, bids must be duly received by the BAC Secretariat through manual submission at the office address indicated below on or before 12 p.m. of December 16, 2025. Late bids shall not be accepted. Bid envelopes must be addressed to Adriel C. Miranda, BAC Chairperson, DICT Region 3, 3F, Marison Square Building, Cagayan Valley Road, Santa Rita, Giginto, Bulacan. Bidder shall submit one original, one duplicate as copy 1, one triplicate as copy 2 of their bid. Each of these envelopes shall contain two separate inner envelopes, one for the technical component and one for the financial component. These inner envelopes must also be properly labeled as technical component and financial component respectively. All outer and inner envelopes shall be clearly and properly labeled, signed across the seal, and sealed in accordance with updated guidelines in the audit of procurement issued by the Commission on Audit and Government Procurement Policy Board. The three main envelopes must be then placed inside one sealed mother envelope, also properly marked with project title, name of the bidder, and address to the back. Presenting the sample format of the labels for your reference. Sample format for mother envelope, for outer envelope, for technical component, for financial component. For the timeline, again, deadline of submission of bids is on December 16, 12 noon. Opening of technical component will be on the same day at 4 p.m. Then opening of financial component to be determined upon identification of the highest rated bidder. Again, the approved budget for the contract for this procurement is 1,500,000 pesos, and the bid documents fee is 5,000 pesos. Payment for the bidding documents shall be made manually. Interested bidders are advised to proceed to the DICT Region 3 Regional Office and directly pay at the cashier. When paying, please state the exact project title you are participating in to ensure proper recording and issuance of the official receipt. Only those who have paid for bidding documents will be allowed to participate in the bidding process in accordance with Section 17.5 of the 2016 revised IRR of RA 9184. That's all, Chair. Thank you po.
Okay, thank you, Secretariat. Baka may mga pahabol pa po kayong questions or clarifications from our prospective bidders.
None, Mr. Chair, Adriel. Yeah, thank you po, thank you po.
Thank you po from Smarter.
Thank you.
Okay, so just a few reminders po, no? I'll just read some few reminders. So any statements made at the pre-bid conference shall not modify the terms of bidding documents unless such statement is specifically identified in writing as an amendment thereto and issued as a supplemental bid bulletin. And any amendments in the detailed technical specifications and bidding documents shall be posted through supplemental bid bulletin. So as mentioned kanina, we will issue supplemental bid bulletins po with regards to your queries and ang tawag dito, and changes, especially in our part naman yung opening ng financial component, no? So please expect po that the SBB will be sent to your emails. And we encourage everyone to regularly monitor the PhilJobs website for any supplemental bid bulletins that may be issued. Please be reminded that it is the responsibility of the bidders to stay informed and ensure they have all secured all supplemental bid bulletins related to this procurement. And I would like to also remind you that you may submit additional queries or requests for clarifications through an official letter addressed to the Bids and Awards Committee and sent via the BAC Secretariat's official address on or before December 8. I know holiday ang December 8, but since medyo tight na po yung schedule natin, we can only give you until December 8, 12 noon to submit additional queries and clarifications po. No? And lastly, the minutes of the meeting will be made available not later than 5 days after today upon written request to the BAC Secretariat. Okay. Sir Matt, do you have additional questions, sir?
Yes, Sir Adriel. Sorry, sir. Actually, nabanggit niyo naman na po at nasagot. Yung bulletin rin po will send through the email or should we always check the PhilJeps? Kasi parang mahirap mag-check lang
Uh,
sa PhilJeps eh.
as practice, sir, we are sending it naman sa mga, well, dito naman, since kayong dalawa lang ni Carbon Digital, we'll
Yeah
send
po.
it po kung may SBB naman po na may issue.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we'll expect that sir for within 5 days as per
The minutes of the
task
meeting,
schedule.
sir, will be sent within 5 days. For the supplemental bid bulletin, I guess that will be on Monday. So we'll wait po if may mga additional queries po kayo until 12 noon. And then if wala na, we will be issuing the supplemental bid bulletin on the same date din po. Since
Sa Lunes. Okay.
that should be the last day of the issuance of SBB before the bid opening.
Okay.
Okay.
Yun na lang
Okay.
po.
Okay
Nasagot
pa.
na po. Thank you po. Sensya na po mga kulit para
Okay lang,
well
sir.
informed rin po tayo. Okay pa.
Okay
Sige.
lang po. No problem, sir. Okay. May questions pa ba? Again po, no, kindly please refer to the checklist of our requirements and the instruction to bidders on the components of the technical and financial proposal, since that will be our basis on the bid evaluation during the bid opening under the pass or fail criterion po. No? So, dun po tayo magbe-base. So, please assure to submit all the necessary documentary requirements. Okay? So, if wala na pong clarifications and questions, thank you po for both Smarter and Carbon Digital in attending this pre-bid conference, and we hope to see you on December 16 for the deadline on submission and bid opening. Please take note of the deadline of submission po, ha? Okay? So, kung wala na pong... Yes, Sir Matt. May pahabol ka pa?
Hindi, wala na po. Thank you.
Okay.
Mag-thank you lang po ako. At saka
Okay.
happy holidays. Apo.
Okay, sige. If wala na pong question,
Thank you po. Thank you po.
the meeting is adjourned. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you po.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Thank you po. Bye-bye
Thank you.
po.
Bye.